fight to protect young girls' privacy is brewing in Illinois. One mother squaring off with her local school board after she says a school administrator forced her daughter to change in front of a biological boy.
The male student was present in the girls' locker room. Feeling violated, the girls made the choice to not change into their PE clothes with a biological male student present. The next day, Assistant Principal Kathy Van Treese pulled the girls into their office, questioning them. The same day, Assistant Superintendent Joanna Ford, Kathy Van Treese, and multiple teachers all came into the girls' locker room, making them change into uniform.
Joining us now is that brave mother, Nicole Georges. She joins us. Nicole, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I can't even imagine how hard that was to stand up in a room which we are told was filled with trans activists who were saying that this is the right thing, that girls like your daughter and her friend should have to change in the locker room in front of biological boys. So please do share with us your daughter's story.
So what happened was my daughter and all of her PE fellow girls, they wanted their locker room back. They had originally decided on their own that they weren't going to be changing in front of this student. So they had tried to do basically their own protest and not change in front of the student. So they decided one day to just not wear their PE clothes. They went to not change. The next day, Kathy Von Treese, who is the principal, the assistant principal, called each girl individually, multiple girls individually, one by one, to see who started this, what had happened, and they all got brought into the office. That same day, the assistant super.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the DeMarkco effect, where you get the full effect of me. Okay, so let me get this right before we continue and we let her go on a story about what happened. The girls, they're in school, but they have transgenders in their same locker room that they have to change in front of every day. But before they go inside of the locker room and change, they already changed into their PE clothes. They decided to do a protest to say, hey, we're not going to change in front of these boys because they're biological boys, and yet they got in trouble. They get called into the principal's office one by one, being talked to by adults, telling children that they should change in front of a different sex because they look the same now. Okay, got it. All right.
Superintendent Joanna Ford, Kathy Von Treese, and multiple other teachers came into the locker room and made the girls change into their PE clothes.
That is hard to believe, that they were forced into this situation. Okay, so just to be clear to our audience and to you, we did reach out to the school and its administration, and has chosen not to reply back. We have not received any comment. We requested a statement. They have not provided any to us. That being said,
and I had said, and I had asked the teachers, I said, why is this happening? Nobody is giving me any kind of response. The only suggestion that they had was to move my daughter into a different PE class. That was by Robert Wegley, the other principal. And I said, no, my daughter is not moving classes. She's not doing anything. The only thing that she is doing is she's not going to change for the remainder of the year. She's not changing her schedule. She's not doing anything else because she did nothing wrong. That's locker room is for them. I mean, what the scariest thing is, this sets such a dangerous precedent for girls everywhere by allowing men into safe spaces. My biggest concern is that an adult biological male that hasn't transitioned can freely access women's bathrooms, locker rooms, putting their safety and privacy at risk. This is common sense. And, some of these girls don't even want to change in front of their moms.
Wow. It's hard to hear that. I mean, we know what a sensitive time that is for young girls. Middle school, those years are so precious, and privacy is obviously and absolutely key. Instead of the room being filled with people standing up for your daughter, the room actually, we were told, was filled with trans supporters. In fact, here are some of them who stood up to defend the act of biological boys changing alongside girls like your daughter. Listen.
Trans students are not a threat. They are kids, like all kids, who deserve dignity, respect, and the opportunity to thrive.
The claim that girls were forced to...
Before we get to the weirdos, so her daughter is in the wrong. Her daughter and her friends are in the wrong for not wanting to change in front of boys. When some of them are not even comfortable in changing in front of their own parents, in front of their own siblings. But they should be forced to change in front of boys, that's biological boys, just because they look like girls. That's my only concern, and that's my problem. Because more and more now to this day, we have people conforming and saying, yeah, they're not dangerous. We don't care if they're not dangerous. They shouldn't be in this space. If you shouldn't be somewhere, it doesn't matter if you're going to be better for the environment or worse for the environment. You don't belong here. You shouldn't be here. Biologically, no, you don't belong with us biologically. I wouldn't even feel comfortable in school changing in front of a girl if they gave us the same locker rooms. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. Because I don't need to be changing next to a girl that I don't know. That's a girl. I shouldn't be in her bathroom saying, yeah, I can change in front of your bathroom because I'm technically a girl, but I'm a boy. That shouldn't be the case. And now you have these weirdos getting online talking about some, yeah, the complaints are not valid and transgender, they're kids just like other kids. Yes, let's think about the biological kids. But let's go.
Change in front of a boy isn't just misleading, it's a deliberate misrepresentation.
Transgender people have always existed and will always exist, and we need to make our spaces safe for them. Thank you.
Essentially, what I heard from them is that your story and your daughter's feelings on this matter are misleading and that you're deliberately misrepresenting what's happening. How do you respond to that?
That's and that most of these people were not even from our area. They were so disrespectful. They called me a white supremacist. They called me transphobic. I sat there poised, didn't say a word to anybody. I got attacked the entire night by them.
So
the board let that happen.
Obviously, this it was a huge part of the election. It's a huge political talking point. As you know, President Trump has already taken action on this front. He signed an EO for girls' sports, and he specifically spoke about girls being safe in their own locker rooms. Listen here.
Right.
We're putting every school receiving taxpayer dollars on notice that if you let men take over women's sports teams or invade your locker rooms, you will be investigated for violations of Title IX and risk your federal funding. There will be no federal funding.
And we have that to be the case. We've had that to be the case. We've had a couple of schools in some of these areas lose funding because of that. And, I mean, with this situation, this is a situation where the world has to become better at this. We have to stop allowing people to try to bully us in order to make us conform to what they believe in. It's just like if you don't like a specific woman, she say you're either gay, you're an incel, or you're just ugly. Some type of ad hominem attack that they throw at you. And that's the same thing that these trans people do. When you don't accept them, you're transphobic and you're a hateful person. Because you don't accept their delusions. And that's my main issue with them. You have these people saying they've been around for a long time. There have always been transgender people. Okay, but they haven't been a big deal like they are now. They've already tried to counter for y'all. They have unisex bathrooms in a lot of these places. To where now you just go in there and there's one stall for one person. Some places don't even want to, because they think they become politically attacked. They don't even want to have a men's and a women's bathroom. They just have a unisex bathroom. So whoever want to go up in there one at a time, you can go up in there. The door locks behind you. And that's an issue. We shouldn't have that. But for the mom, yeah, I do feel for the mom. And of course, they're going to say that the mom is lying. She's misleading. They're going to say the daughter is lying. They're going to say she's misleading. Only because they don't agree with what happened. They don't agree with what happened. But other than that, leave y'all thoughts down below. This is a main issue for me. Leave y'all thoughts down below. Leave a comment. Make sure to leave a like for the algorithm. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And if you are about to hit that subscribe button, welcome to the family. Okay? Other than that, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Have a good evening, good day, good night, good morning, wherever y'all at, and I'll see y'all.